When was the last time you truly exhaled? I do not mean the mechanical act of breathing that keeps your body alive. I mean the spiritual exhalation of the soul. When was the last time you experienced a singular, crystallized moment without the heavy cloak of worry weighing down your shoulders? A moment where you were not pretending to be strong for an audience of others, where you were not smiling to mask the silent fracture in your heart, but where you were truly, undeniably light. We live in an age of suspension. Many of us spend our entire lives in a waiting room of our own design. We put happiness on hold, locking it behind a heavy iron door, believing that one day, when the bank account is full, when the relationship is healed, when the body is perfect, and when the chaos of the world finally settles into silence, we will finally turn the key and let ourselves feel at peace. We convince ourselves that peace is a prize to be won at the end of a brutal war. But that perfect day, that mythical horizon where the sun never sets and the storms never come, never really arrives. It is a ghost we chase until we are exhausted. Ancient Buddhist teachings, wisdom carved from centuries of observing the human condition, remind us of a startling truth. Peace is not a destination you reach in the distant future. It is not a trophy for solving every single problem in your life. It is not about controlling the chaotic variables of what lies ahead. Peace is a frequency. It is already here, vibrating beneath the noise in this very moment. It is waiting for you to stop running. It is waiting for you to stop resisting the texture of your reality. If you feel a bone, deep exhaustion from living inside the echo chamber of your own head, if you are tired of the constant, low-level hum of anxiety that vibrates in your chest, and if you want to remember what it feels like to be alive, not just functioning, but truly alive, then we must walk through these 7 gateways. These are not just lessons, they are an unburdening. They are the gentle reminders your heart has been quietly screaming for. Lesson 1. The present moment is the only safe place you will ever find. Let us deconstruct the architecture of your anxiety. One of the core truths in Buddhism, and indeed in the psychology of human suffering, is that real peace and absolute freedom exist only in the now. It sounds like a cliché, a phrase printed on greeting cards, but when this truth actually sinks into the marrow of your bones, it dismantles your entire structure of suffering. Consider the nature of time. The past is a library of memories, some dusty, some painful, but all of them dead. They survive only because you keep visiting the library, reopening the books, and reliving the stories. The future, on the other hand, is a hallucination. It has not arrived. It lives only in the theater of your imagination. Yet worry pulls you violently away from the sanctuary of the now. It drags you by the collar into a dark forest of what-ifs and maybes. Worry is a master artist, but it paints only in shades of catastrophe. It creates fears from thin air. It convinces you that the tiger is in the room, that danger is imminent, that the floor is about to collapse. And here is the tragedy. Because the human brain is a survival machine, not a happiness machine, it does not know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. When you replay those fears, your amygdala fires, your heart races, your cortisol spikes, your digestion shuts down. Your body is fighting a war that is not actually happening. You are sweating and trembling in a safe room because your mind has transported you to a battlefield. You are suffering through events that have not happened and may never happen. That is the tyranny of the mind. It robs you of the peace that is sitting right next to you. But the moment you snap the tether, moment you bring your awareness back to the physical sensation of air entering your nostrils and leaving your lip, something profound shifts. Focus on the feeling of gravity holding your feet to the earth. Listen to the hum of the silence in the room. Look at the play of light on the wall. In this specific microsecond, are you okay? Not in 10 minutes, not next week, but right now. In this breath, you are safe. In this breath, there is no tiger. The nervous system begins to understand that the emergency is over. The chest lightens. The thoughts slow down, not because you force them to, but because you starve them of their fuel. The present moment is a refuge. It is the only coordinates where life is actually taking place. Everything else is just mental noise. Worry cannot survive in the now. Worry is a parasite that feeds on the future. It requires the oxygen of tomorrow to breathe. When you are fully grounded in the tactile reality of the present, there is no space for fear about what hasn't happened. The mind will try to rebel. It will whisper, but what if tomorrow brings bad news? I must prepare! You can learn to speak back to it, not with aggression, but with the gentle authority of a parent soothing a child. You say, I do not need to solve tomorrow right now. Right now I am breathing. Right now I am safe. And that is enough. Lesson 2. Acceptance is not giving up, it is giving yourself permission to put down the weight. We live in a culture that worships struggle. We are taught that if we are not fighting, we are failing. Many people mistake acceptance for weakness, for a rolling over, for a surrender of dignity. We think that if we accept a painful reality, a diagnosis, a breakup, a failure, it means we have stopped trying to change it. We think it means we approve of the pain. But in the deep waters of Buddhist philosophy, acceptance has a radically different definition. It is not about helplessness. It is about physics. It is about releasing the heavy, crushing burden of trying to bend reality to your will when reality has already taken a different shape. When you resist what life brings, whether it is a massive loss or a minor traffic jam, you create a layer of friction. This friction is tension. And that tension, when held over days and years, becomes suffering. The Buddha taught the parable of the second arrow. The first arrow is the painful event itself, the inevitable hurts of life. We cannot avoid the first arrow, but the second arrow is the one we shoot into ourselves. It is our reaction. It is our anger that the pain exists. It is our refusal to accept that we are bleeding. That second arrow is where the true agony lies. The struggle does not come from the event itself, but from the violent argument your mind is having with reality. You are standing in the rain screaming at the clouds to stop. You are exhausting yourself, and you are still getting wet. Acceptance means looking at the rain, feeling the cold water on your skin, and saying, "It is raining." That is all. It does not mean you love the rain. It does not mean you don't grab an umbrella. It simply means you stop pretending the sun is shining. You stop pouring your precious, finite energy into wishing things were different, when in this precise moment, they are not. When you do this, a knot inside your chest begins to loosen. You let go of the tight, white-knuckled grip you have on the steering wheel of the universe. You stop fighting the current of the river and allow yourself to float. And in that softening, you create space. Think about the mental energy you incinerate by replaying the past. A relationship ends, and instead of grieving the loss, we interrogate the history. We ask why 1,000 times. We construct alternate realities where we said the right thing, where we fix the broken pieces. We relive the trauma as if we could rewrite the script by worrying hard enough. But the ink is dry. The more we resist what is, the more we suffer. Acceptance is the moment you drop the rope in the tug of war. You stop arguing with reality. You allow yourself to feel the grief, the anger, the confusion, without judging yourself for feeling it. You strip away the shame. This is the bedrock of healing. It doesn't mean you stop trying to grow. It means you stop expecting life to match your rigid blueprint in order for you to be happy. You begin to realize that peace is not the result of things going your way. Peace is what happens when you stop needing things to go your way. In the space created by acceptance, clarity emerges. You can finally see the next step, not through the fog of anxiety, but the clear eyes of understanding. You move forward not with control, but with trust. Lesson 3. Not every thought deserves your attention, your belief, or your heartbeat. The human mind is a magnificent instrument, a biocomputer capable of art, logic, and love. But it is also a chaotic marketplace, noisy, overwhelming, and often full of deceit. Neuroscientists estimate that tens of thousands of thoughts pass through your mind every single day. Some are useful. Many are repetitive nonsense. And far too many are rooted in ancient survival mechanisms: fear, doubt, and insecurity. One of the most liberating lessons in Buddhism, and perhaps the most difficult to master, is this: you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that observes the thoughts. When you truly understand this distinction, it changes your entire inner landscape. Just because a thought walks through the front door of your mind does not mean it lives there. Just because a notification pops up on the screen of your consciousness does not mean it is true. And it certainly doesn't mean you must drop everything to attend to it. Worry feeds on unchecked thoughts. It usually begins with a quiet, insidious whisper: what if? What if I fail? What if they leave? What if the test is positive? Before you realize it, you have grabbed that thought and followed it down a spiral staircase into the basement of despair. You feel unsafe, not because the room is burning, but because your mind convinced you that you smell smoke. This is the danger of believing every thought is a fact. Buddhism offers a beautiful, cinematic image to help us detach. The mind is like the vast, blue sky. Your thoughts are merely clouds passing through. Some clouds are fluffy and light. These are happy thoughts. Some are dark, heavy, and thunderous. These are fearful thoughts. But notice this: none of the clouds are permanent. And none of the clouds are the sky. The sky remains vast, untouched, and unchanged, no matter how violent the storm is. Your true self, your Buddha nature, is the sky. It is deeper and calmer than the weather passing through it. When you start observing your thoughts, instead of drowning in them, you develop mindfulness. You become the watcher on the riverbank, watching the debris float by rather than the swimmer being swept away by the current. So when your mind screams, "I am not good enough," or "everything is going to collapse," you do not need to panic. You do not need to fight the thought. You simply acknowledge it. You say, I see a fear thought has arrived. You label it. You look at it with curiosity, not terror. You remind yourself, this is just a mental event. It is not a solid object. I do not have to believe it. That simple wedge of awareness stops the cycle. With practice, you create a gap between the stimulus and the response. In that gap, you find freedom. You are no longer a puppet pulled by the strings of every passing fear. The thoughts will still come, and you cannot stop the clouds, but they will not control the weather of your soul. You let them pass, and you return to the calm, infinite blue of your own awareness. Lesson 4. Impermanence means your fear cannot last forever. This is the law of Anicca. It is one of the most profound and paradoxically comforting teachings in existence. It is the understanding that everything in the known universe is in a state of flux. Nothing remains the same. The mountains are slowly eroding. The stars are burning out. The cells in your body are dying and regenerating. Seasons bleed into one another. Winter always, without exception, gives way to spring. Every experience, whether ecstasy or agony, is transient. It will pass. Yet, when anxiety takes hold of us, it plays a cruel trick. It mimics eternity. Pain often feels permanent. When we are in the grip of depression or terror, it feels like this is the new normal, that the sun has been extinguished and we will live in twilight forever. It feels like the heavy emotion has taken up residence in our chest and signed a lease for life. But the truth, supported by the history of every human who has ever lived, is that no matter how overwhelming the fear seems, it has an expiration date. Think back to the darkest moments of your past, the heartbreak that brought you to your knees, the panic attack that made you feel like you were dying, the uncertainty that kept you awake for weeks. Where are those moments now? They have dissolved. You survived them. You metabolized them. You are here, still breathing, still standing. That survival proves the law of impermanence. Emotions are weather patterns. Even the most violent hurricane eventually runs out of energy. Once you start viewing your emotions through the lens of impermanence, you stop identifying with them. You stop saying, I am an anxious person, which sounds like a permanent label, a tattoo on your soul. Instead, you say, I am currently experiencing a wave of anxiety. Do you hear the difference? One is a prison, the other is a passing cloud. When you forget impermanence, you panic. You cling to the good moments, terrified they will end, and you fight the bad moments, terrified they will stay. But when you remember Anicca, you relax. You realize you don't have to force the night to enter, the sun will rise on its own. This is not just a comforting platitude, it is the mechanics of existence. The storm does not stay. This understanding allows you to treat yourself with patience. You stop trying to rush your healing. You learn to sit in the discomfort, knowing it is not a concrete room, but a tunnel. And tunnels have exits. You learn to breathe with the pain, not against it. You trust the process. So when worry tightens your throat, when the story of disaster starts playing in your mind, place a hand over your heart. Feel the rhythm of your life. Remind yourself gently, this is only a moment. It will not last. I have survived 10,000 moments before this, and I will move through this one too. That reminder brings a quiet dignity to your suffering. It anchors you in the knowledge that you are fluid, evolving, and endless. Lesson 5. Let go of the control that was never yours to hold. One of the greatest sources of neurosis in the modern world is the illusion of control. We believe that if we think hard enough, plan meticulously enough, and worry intensely enough, we can master the universe. We tell ourselves that vigilance is the price of safety. If we just stay alert, eyes wide open, scanning the horizon for threats, we can prevent pain. We can keep our children safe, our careers stable, and our bodies healthy. But this belief is a heavy, crushing armor. It is exhausting to play God, because the brutal truth is that no matter how hard you try, the vast majority of life is completely beyond your control. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the traffic. You cannot control the opinions of others. You cannot even fully control the beating of your own heart. Trying to control the uncontrollable is like trying to hold back the tide with a teaspoon. It doesn't bring peace, it brings madness. It builds a life based on fear, a life where you are constantly bracing for impact. Buddhism offers a path of surrender. Not surrender to defeat, but surrender to the flow. It encourages right action, acting with intention, clarity, and wisdom, but then detaching completely from the outcome. This is the sweet spot. You study for the test, but you release the worry about the grade. You show up fully for your partner, but you release the need to control their feelings. You plant the seed with care, water it with love, but you acknowledge that the sun and the soil and the rain will decide if it blooms. Letting go of control is an act of supreme trust. It means believing that the river of life knows where it is going better than you do. It means admitting that your limited perspective cannot see the grand design. Think of the energy you have wasted trying to manipulate outcomes. The nights spent staring at the ceiling, bargaining with the universe. Did the worry change the outcome? Or did it simply rob you of your sleep and leave you fragile for the next day? The future is not shaped by your worry, it is shaped by your present actions. Letting go means you stop suffering over what isn't yours to carry. It is maturity. It is realizing that peace is more valuable than perfection. It creates a lightness. You can walk through life without the heavy baggage of how it should be. It also means making peace with uncertainty. We hate uncertainty. We crave the guarantee. But life offers no guarantees, only opportunities. When you stop resisting the chaos, you can find the eye of the storm. You start trusting that you have the resilience to handle whatever happens, rather than trying to prevent anything from happening. You ask yourself, am I doing my part with presence and integrity? If the answer is yes, then you let the rest unfold. You give life room to breathe. You give people room to be who they are. And you give yourself permission to not know the answers. This is the freedom of the open hand rather than the clenched fist. Lesson 6. Speak gently to the frightened voice inside you. If you recorded the way you speak to yourself in the privacy of your own mind, would you be arrested for abuse? Almost everyone has an inner narrator that is critical, harsh, and catastrophic. It whispers, "You can't handle this. You're going to mess it up. They're going to find out you're a fraud." This voice is not evil. It is not trying to destroy you. In a twisted, evolutionary way, it is trying to protect you. It is the voice of the primitive brain, trying to prepare you for pain, loss, or exile from the tribe. It thinks that by scaring you, it is saving you. But over time, this guardian becomes a jailer. It keeps you on edge, cortisol flooding your veins, stealing your joy. Buddhism teaches Maitri, unconditional friendship with oneself. It teaches compassion, not just for the suffering of others, but for the suffering within your own skin. Instead of fighting this inner voice, instead of screaming "shut up" to your own anxiety, which only adds violence to violence, the healing approach is to meet it with radical kindness. Imagine your anxiety not as a monster, but as a frightened child tugging on your sleeve. A child who is terrified of the dark. You wouldn't scream at a scared child. You wouldn't shame them. You would kneel down, look them in the eye, and say, "I know you are scared. I see you, but I am here. We are safe." You can do this with your own mind. When the worry starts, you can say to yourself, "I hear you, fear. Thank you for trying to protect me. But we are okay right now. We are going to take just one step." When you shift from judgment to compassion, the internal war ends. The fearful voice softens because it finally feels heard. It doesn't need to scream to get your attention anymore. You build a relationship with yourself based on trust, not tyranny. This doesn't mean you indulge the fear or let it drive the car. It means you sit next to it. You become the calm parent to your own nervous system. You stop asking, "What is wrong with me?" and start saying, "It is okay to feel this. I can hold this feeling and still move forward." This shift is the essence of truth, strength. The gentleness is not weakness, it is the only thing strong enough to break the cycle of fear. When you can sit beside your own terror without running away, without numbing it with distractions, you become untouchable. You become your own sanctuary. Lesson 7. Joy is not a reward for a perfect life, it is a discipline you practice today. I will be happy when. I will be happy when I get the promotion, when I lose 10 pounds, when the house is paid off, when the kids are grown, when the anxiety is gone forever. We treat joy as a destination on a map, a place we will finally arrive at once we have traversed the treacherous mountain range of our problems. But that day is a mirage, because as long as you are alive, there will be problems. There will be entropy. There will be unfinished business. If you wait for your life to be problem-free before you allow yourself to be happy, you will wait until your deathbed. Buddhism teaches that joy is not an accident. It is not a stroke of luck. It is a practice. It is a rebellion against the darkness. It is a conscious decision to return to the present moment and find the miracle that is hiding in plain sight. True joy is often quiet. It is not the fireworks of winning the lottery. It is the warmth of the ceramic cup in your hands. It is the way the light filters through the leaves of a tree. It is the sound of rain on the roof. It is the sensation of clean sheets against tired legs. These are the portals to the divine. You do not need to fix everything to feel peace. This is the radical shift. You can have a problem at work, a conflict with a friend, and a bank account that is too low, and you can still pause, look at the sunset, and feel a surge of gratitude for the fact that you have eyes to see it. You can hold the pain in one hand and the joy in the other. They can coexist. Practicing joy means training your mind to hunt for the good. The brain naturally scans for danger. You must teach it to scan for beauty. It is about softening. It is about stopping the relentless march of doing to sink into the luxury of being. When you begin to welcome joy in this small, steady way, you realize that happiness was never absent. It was just covered by the dust of your distraction. It was always there, waiting for you to pay attention. And as you practice this day by day, the worries begin to fade into the background. They do not disappear, but they lose their power. They become background noise rather than the main melody. You start to understand that life does not need to be perfect to be wonderful, that love can exist amidst chaos, that you are worthy of peace right now, exactly as you are, imperfect and unfinished. So, take a breath, a real one. Let it reach the bottom of your lungs. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. The past is smoke. The future is mist. You are here. You are safe. You are alive. And in this moment, that is everything.